He was in there too. Said he has a Node in his car and he was testing it out.
All right there, Just Nick. Thanks for the heads up on those two. And sorry you are one of the afflicted now. But yeah, I haven't used that Alka-Seltzer cold and flu in a while. Frankly, I forgot about it, but it does work pretty well. So good luck, and we'll talk to you down the line. KE8DZA.
Thanks, Eric. We'll talk to all the beacon netizens later on. KD8 SLG clear.
KE8QKO.
KE8QKO, KE8DZA. How you doing there, Nick, at night?
Hello, Eric. I'm doing fine. Heading home. I wanted to hop in and say goodnight to Nick since he said he's not going to be around for the net. And I think he means he's talking about K5 RFG. I'm not sure if you have the call sign handy or not, but I think that's probably the one he was talking about. And yeah, with that, I'm just going to keep on driving.
Very good, Nick, at night. Thanks for the confirmation on K5 RFG. I got him on the log here as well, and I added WB4AIZ, and I've grabbed a handful from the blue screen as well. So drive safely. We'll be talking to you here shortly. KE8DZA.
Thanks, Nick at night. KD8 SLG clear. W8WKY.
KE8DZA here. I'll be your net control operator for the BeaconNet pre-show in a little less than 3 minutes. I have a NetLogger window open if you'd like to fire it up on your end and follow along, purely optional. I have harvested some call signs from the blue screen, as we affectionately call the AIM window, almost instant messenger window. So I've added those people onto the log here. If you would like to check in via RF before the bottom of the hour, I can do that as well. KE8DZA.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Echo Delta Echo, KF8, EDE. I'll be in and out, Eric.
Very good. I copy KF8EDE, Echo Delta Echo. If I got that right, Patrick, got you on the log here, in and out. And 7-3, thanks for stopping by.
Yep, you got it right.
right, thanks for confirming, Patrick. And come on back on another Sunday night or Wednesday night when you can spend a little time and join in the net. But I appreciate the check-in. And 7-3 got you down here in and out. We'll clear with KFEDE. This is KE8VZA. And we have, looks like 1 minute until our lovely announcer will kick off the pre-show. KE8VZA here, QST. This is the BeaconNet pre-show. Welcome, all licensed amateurs. We are on the W8WKY repeater in Doylestown, Ohio with the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association. Our frequency is 147 Mark 390 with a positive offset and a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. We also have an Allstar Node, which you can connect to. 48496 is that number. EchoLink is another way to connect. W8WKY-R is the repeater you want to look for, or the node. Let's see, what have I missed here? Our lovely announcer, it sounded like there was a space in there that something keyed up, but she had no audio, so there must be an issue there, but we will continue on nonetheless, and maybe a little broken-hearted, but we will soldier on. So I have grabbed some stations from the blue screen in NetLogger, and just want to mention that this is a controlled net, a controlled pre-net, and I ask that all traffic pass through net control. Yours truly. With that, let's go ahead and touch base with our net control team. And first up here is KE8QKO Nick at Nite, who is, I believe, mobiling his way to his QTH, and will be our NCO at the top of the hour. How you doing out there, Nick at Nite?
KE8QKO, yes sir, I am mobiling. My son had his theater performance today. Well, it lasted 3 this weekend, and then he spent some time with a little after party with some of his school friends, and I'm bringing him home. I said I have to pick you up at 9:15 sharp so I can make it back home in time for the BeaconNet. And that's what we're doing. So anyway, with that, I'll pass it back to you, Eric, KE8QKO.
All right, very good, Nick at Nite. And kudos to the young thespian there. I was in theater in high school. It was actually a lot of fun. Was set crew for quite a few productions, and I actually had a part in 2 different productions my senior year. But was fun. Anyway, good to hear you. We'll hear you again shortly. We'll clear with KE8QKO. Let's go down next here and see if Dustin is out there. KD8EPC. How are you tonight, Dustin, and are you going to stick around for the big show? KD8EPC, KE8VZA. Are you out there, Dustin? All right. Well, maybe he'll check in with us later. Next on the list is Justin at KD8SLG, who is now has been and is still one of the afflicted of this crud that's going around. And he is going to call in an early night tonight and get some rest and hopefully feel a little bit human in the morning. We'll say 7-3, Nick, and thanks for checking in earlier. And let's see, that brings us down next to Josh, W8HRF. Are you out there, Josh? How you doing? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight? W8HRF. Josh, are you out there? KE8VZA here. All right. He's probably not going to join us tonight. Maybe we'll hear him later. Anyway, let's go down and see if Lucy's out there. I'm guessing she's probably with Josh, but we'll give her a shout. KE8YUK, Lucy, how are you? Are you out there, or are you going to stick around for the net tonight? All right, I'll take that as a not present, and we will continue on here. So if you're out there, Lucy and Josh, 7-3 to you. And let's go down next and touch base with Alan, our alt trivia master, and also rubber chicken wrangler. Alan, KI5DAY, how are you tonight? And how are things down there? How is Larry?
KI5DAY in the net. Well, first of all, tell me, how does this Yaesu sound? I'm using the Yaesu handheld. I usually use Baofeng's when I'm on Allstar. You're hearing the typical buzz that you usually hear on here?
Alan, it sounds a little better than usual, I have to say. Don't know if it's conditions or if it is the HT, but it's quite a bit better, so I'll attribute it to the HT. Back to you, KE8VZA.
QSL, it's been a while since I've used one of my Yaesu FT60s. These are tanks, man. These are good radios. I've had them a while, and I thought I'm going to try one of these and see if it does better than the Baofeng's for buzzing. But all is good here. Man, it's been a crazy week. Had a lot of fun on the radio yesterday doing various experimental things, and playing with the radio, playing around with a President 2510 that a buddy of mine at work gave me. It's kind of a 10-meter/11-meter radio. If you make it that way, it's a 10-meter, but it also does 11. Most of them are modified, but it worked and everything except for the transmit side. The mic keys up, but it doesn't transmit properly. It's a common problem with that radio, but anyway, just got to mess around with that, played around with my CB radio a little bit. I haven't done that in a while, but I'm planning on doing some of that in the near future and seeing what kind of antenna I can get set up outside for that, because people on CB, I know they're a little bit less intelligent than we are on the ham side. Hi. Just kidding. Let me let this drop. 5DAY returning, but yeah, some of the stuff I did here was pretty crazy, but I hooked up my CB to my G5 RB Junior, and I was only running the typical 4 watts as the CB puts out, and I was hearing stations coming in, though, from all over the place, all the way out to California and further, so it was pretty cool to hear people coming in on CB like that. Larry's a little freaked out. He's still coming down. I had to give him a Benadryl to calm down. He was watching the Bugs Bunny square dance called Hillbilly Hair. If you ever get a chance, look up Hillbilly Hair, H-A-R-E, where Bugs Bunny gets into a square dance. And when he takes over the music on the violin, it's impressive and funny. But all is good. I've got some alt trivia and some fresh coffee. So here we go. KI5DAY.
All right, Alan. Well, let's look that up, Hillbilly Hair. And I still have 2 CB radios, mobile radios, and I wanted to hook them up and just play around with them just because. And there's a ham in the other club I belong to who actually does quite a bit of CBDX, and he's pretty successful at it. Has a lot of fun, but yeah, it can be cool. Anyway, good tonight. Excuse me. Good to hear you tonight, Alan. We'll hear from you shortly. So we'll clear with KI5DAY. That brings us to the end of our Mickey Mouse roll call. And let me take a break for time, and I'll read off who I have, and then we'll take some more check-ins. KE8VZA returning. Okay, let me read off who I have thus far. KF8G Brian, KA8LYJ Bob, KFCFY Ray, WB4AIZ Chuck, K3MBC Mark, K5RFG Ryan, KF8EDE Patrick, who checked in and out, 73 Patrick, KI5TAQ Taco Tim, KE8ZRY Jeremy, who checked in and out as well, 73 Jeremy, KE8QFT Fred, KR4JVK Jason, KC0LRM Kelly. I grabbed you from the blue screen right before I keyed up, so you're in there. All right, any more check-ins for the Beacon Net tonight? I'm KE8VZA, and we're in the midst of the Beacon Net pre-show on the W8WKY repeater in Doylestown, Ohio. I'm looking for check-ins. Give me a call.
Please check in Kilo India 5 Whiskey Delta Mike, KI5WDM Donald in the Osage.
Good evening, Eric. KE8VZA. Whiskey Alpha 8, Kilo Oscar Charlie. Fred, Akron.
All right, I'll pick it up there. Very good. We'll take them two at a time. We picked up KI5WDM Donald in the Osage and WA8KOC Fred. Any more check-ins before we start to work this list, please give me a call. I'm KE8VZA. All right, very good. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump a little out of order here, and I'm going to touch base with Fred, WA8KOC. How you doing tonight, Fred? Are you going to stick around tonight, or are you just getting your parking validated?
Hello, Eric. Again, yes, if you could please get validation on my parking, I'd appreciate it. It's been a long weekend, but absolutely not as long as the folks that are battling this crud that's going around. But I do have some things I have to get to here before I retire for the evening. So if you'd be so kind, just mark me in and out. Hopefully you'll have a good rest of the net. Good hearing everybody in here with you. We'll say 7-3 to everybody. KE8VZA and the pre-net for the Beacon Net, WA8KOC. Take care, pal.
Very good. Thanks, Fred. And you have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the check-in. And 7-3, I'm sure we'll hear you on the barometer net this week. We'll clear with we'll clear with WA8KOC. And let's go to the top of the list. Brian, KF8G. How are you? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
Yep, I plan on sticking around, especially since I'm the top of the list, so. KF8G.
All right, very good. Yeah, you lucked out. You got a good spot there. We'll clear with KF8G for now. Let's go down to Bob, KA8LYJ. How you doing tonight, Bob? And are you going to stick around for the main net?
Hey, good evening, Eric. KA8LYJ. I will linger. Give it back to you.
All right, Bob, very good. Always reminds me of that Cranberry song. Anyway, good to hear you tonight. Got you on the log. We'll clear with KA8LYJ for now. Let's go down and touch base with Ray, K5CFY. How you Are you going to stick around for the big show?
PZA K5CFY. Good evening there, Mr. Eric. Thanks for doing the pre-show there for us. We always enjoy listening to you, and wave a hand there at the guy on the keyboard there. Is also doing a great job. But yeah, I plan on hanging around and listening to the trivia and making some wild guesses. Thank you, Eric. Great job. We'll clear with you and let you get on down the list, K5CFY.
All right, Ray, very good. Yeah, I know the guy on the keyboard very well, and I'm putting him in for a raise. Anyway, thanks. Good to hear you tonight. We'll clear with K5CFY. Let's go down and see if Chuck's still out there. Just Nick said he heard him earlier. WB4AIZ. Chuck, are you still out there? And are you going to stick around for the net, or are you going to be in and out tonight?
AFI-JB, man, it's Tulsa, short time.
All right. Chuck is probably in and out. That is what he usually does. So I'm sorry I missed you, Chuck, if you're still listening. And 7-3, we'll mark you in and out tonight. And thanks for checking in. Let's see. We also picked up another station, AF5JB, Matt in Tulsa, who's short time. We'll get to you in a few minutes here, Matt. Let's go back to, let's see, next is K3MBC, Mark. How you doing, Mark? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
This is K3MBC. Evening, Eric. Evening, everyone. I'm in it to win it, so I'm in till the end. Back to you, K3MBC.
All right, very good, Mark. Got you on the log sticking around. We'll clear with K3MBC, which takes us down to K5RFG, Ryan. How you doing, Ryan? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight? K5RFG, this is KE8BZA with the BeaconNet pre-show. You out there, Ryan?
W8WKY.
KE8BZA returning. I'm going to leave Ryan on the log. I know he was maybe testing a node or something like that, some sort of new setup from what I gather. So we'll touch base with him when we come back around the horn. For now, let's go down to KI5TAQ. Taco Tim, how you doing? And are you going to stick around for the big show tonight?
Good evening there. Yeah, I'm sticking around for the big net. And well, at least I did not get blown away on the wind. So I'll let you get back and work the net. This is KI5TAQ.
All right, Tim, very good. Yeah, hang on to something down there. We've had a little bit of wind up here, but nothing like we had about a week ago, thank goodness. So hopefully that has died down for you as well. But got you on the log. We'll clear with KI5TAQ for now. Let's go down to Fred, KE8QFT. How you doing, Fred? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
Well, doing fine right now. And yeah, I will. I'll be here.
All right, Fred, very good. Good to hear you. Got you on the log sticking around. We'll clear with KE8QFT. which takes us down to Jason, KR4JVK. How you doing, Jason? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
KR4JVK. Hello, Eric. Thanks for checking me into the net tonight. I'm doing all right. Not looking forward to the work week ahead, but that's how it goes. So, yeah, I'll be sticking around for the net. Back to you.
All right, Jason, welcome aboard. Good to hear you tonight, and thanks for sticking around. We'll clear with KR4JVK for now. And let's go down to Kelly, KC0LRM. How you doing, Kelly? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
KABZA. Yeah, thanks for getting in there, Eric. Yes, and I will be sticking around. And kind of like Tim, I haven't blown away down here. It's not quite as bad in Wichita as it was when I left Tulsa yesterday, but still pretty windy. That's all I got. I will be hanging around. Back to you.
All right, Kelly. Yeah, if it kicks back up again, hang on. Anyway, good to hear you. We'll clear with KC0LRM, which takes us next to Donald, KI5WDM. How are you, Donald? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
Yes, I am here, and, I should identify. This is KI5WDM. I am here, and I'm not going anywhere, like somebody said before me. I'm in it till the end, so. Yep, and as far as Alan goes, he's always a little buzzed, so we just have to forgive him. But you have it back, KI5WDM.
All right, Donald, very good. Good to hear you tonight. And got you on the log, sticking around. We'll clear with KI5WDM. That brings us down to Matt in Tulsa, AF5JB. How you doing, Matt? Do you have a couple comments for the net before you have to go?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Good evening to you and everybody else out on the net. I did a whole lot this weekend. Got that done, and then I went to the house and all cleaned up and ate and everything, and went out and to Buster's and
AF5JB, this is KE8VZA here. You broke up there, Matt, and then you lost the repeater. Are you still out there? All right, I think we lost Matt, but we got most of his transmission there. And thanks for checking in with us, Matt. You have a good week going forward. We'll clear with AF5JB. And let's go down next to Mark, KC8SQV, sorry. And it's official now. Mark's on board. How you doing, Mark? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
Yep, Eric, I'm going to stick around for the main net. And I'll be running over to another net out there in Kentucky at 10 or somewhere shortly after on 62886 on Allstar. But we'll be here. We'll be having two things brought up at that time. So, yep, we'll be sticking around. And it was a nice day out today, even though it was a little breezy. I went out without a coat. Just had a long sleeve on. So, KCFQV.
All right, Mark, got you on the... Around, and it was pretty warm in the sun. It was a nice day out today. The breeze made it a little cool, but hey, it beats the alternative. Anyway, good to hear you, Mark. Got you on the log sticking around. We'll clear with KC8FQV. That brings us to the bottom of our list so far. I'm KE8VZA with the BeaconNet pre-show on the W8WKY repeater in Doylestown, Ohio. Frequency is 147 Mark 390 with a positive offset and a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. We also have an Allstar Node 48496, and you can connect to us via EchoLink. Connect to W8WKY-R. I'm looking for more check-ins. If you'd like to get on the log, please give me a call. I'm KE8VZA, and I'm listening.
Whiskey November 8, Sierra Charlie India Mobile. How's it going?
KE8 HNK, in and out.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Delta Tango Alpha, in and out.
November 8, Yankee Mike Yankee, N8 YMY, John, I'll be in and out.
All right, very good. We picked up 4 more there. The first station, Whiskey, I think it was Whiskey November 8. If you could come back with your full call sign. I wasn't quick enough. I botched it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Whiskey November 8, Sierra Charlie India.
Thank you, Walter. Got you that time. Whiskey November 8, Sierra Charlie India. I had one letter off there, so thanks for that. Got you on the log. We had KE8HNK Elmer, who's in and out. KF8DTA Jeff, who is in and out as well. And John, N8YMY, also in and out. So 73 to our 3 in and outs there. And thanks for joining us tonight. And let's go up to talk to Walter here, WN8SCI. How you doing, Walter? And are you going to stick around for the main net tonight?
Yeah, how's it going? Well, let's see. As far as sticking around, I may or may not be there at the beginning. I need to get some gas, and then I'll be heading to the house, and so I guess we'll just have to see if how the timing is. Other than that, my CW trainer came in, and I'm now the proud owner of an iambic paddle, so I've been trying to kind of master that a little bit and work on my characters and try not to think about it too much, to try to have it come more naturally and do what they tell you not to do, which is go based off feeling instead of, I don't want to say counting, but, you know, going with your gut, I suppose. So, other than that, not too much going on. Yeah, so, back to you, WN8SCI.
All right, Walter. Well, hey, congrats on the new CW trainer there, and good luck with that. Sounds like you're off to a good start. CW, learning CW is on my list to do. I got a couple other things on that list right above it, but it's near the top, and I think CW is pretty cool. So, best wishes there for a smashing success, and we will leave you on the log. You're kind of deep in the log, so you have a little bit of time. So we'll give you a shout when we get down to you, and if you're there, you're there. If not, you know, we know what happened, and you can always do a recheck. Anyway, thanks, Walter. We'll clear with WN8SCI for now. We still have a couple of minutes left. Anybody else out there that would like to get on the log, please give me a call. I'm KE8VZA, and I am listening.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom and Ken. I'll be in and out this evening. 7-3's all.
right, I'll pick it up there. Well, we got one more station there, KA8MNT. Tom, got you on the log in and out. Thanks for coming by there, Tom. And 7-3, I'm sure we will hear you on the barometer net for our morning dose of humor. Anyway, good to hear you, 7-3. And anyone else who would like to get on the log, we still have probably a minute and a half, thereabouts, about a minute. But plenty of time for a check-in or two. Give me a call. I'm KE8VZA.
Alpha India 5 Quebec AI 5Q in and out tonight.
Here is Kilo Bravo 8 Lima November Kilo tow truck mobile, be in and out.
All right, I'll pick it up there. All right, we picked up 3 more stations there. W2JLS. John, I pulled you out of the static, but I knew it was you. And AI5Q, Jairus, got you in and out tonight, Jairus. Thanks for stopping by. And 7-3. And KB8LNK, Ron, who's mobiling around. Got you on the log too, in and out, Ron. Thanks for stopping by. That's the end of the pre-show. Wow, that went fast. Anyway, we're at the top of the hour. Let's see if Nick at Nite made it home. KE8QKO. Nick at Nite, are you ready to roll?
KE8VZA, KE8QKO. Yes, sir. I made it home just fine. Just fine indeed, and I'm ready to roll. I'm going to kick this thing off. Fine business on the pre-show. I'm going to break for time. All right, just want to make sure that reset. And good evening and welcome to the Beacon Net. My name is Nick. My call sign is KE8QKO, Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Kilo Oscar, and I will be net control for the evening. The Beacon Net meets every Sunday and Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time here on the W8WKY repeater, 147 Mark 390, positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8, Allstar Node 48496, and EchoLink W8WKY-R. This is directed net, so all traffic must pass through net control. We are linked in with our friends in Oklahoma, the Fireside Network, and various other repeaters, and we ask that you key for a couple of seconds before and after you transmit so we can hear everything you've got to say. Before we start taking check-ins, is there any emergency or priority traffic? Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. We're going to go ahead and do a round of check-ins. See if anybody didn't quite make it into the pre-show before we get our trivia questions read. So if you did not check into the pre-show and you would like to check into the Beacon Net, please say your call sign phonetically, followed by alphabetically, along your name and location.
Kilo Juliet 5. Mike Charlie Victor KJ5 MCV. Ryan out of Broken Arrow. Okay, baby.
All right, I've got KJ5 MCV Ryan. Anybody else want to check in? Call now. All right, nothing heard there. We'll do more rounds later, so if you're waiting and you haven't checked in, you'll get a chance. Let's go talk to KE8VZA to get the primary question. Eric, take it away.
KE8QKO in the net, KE8VZA here with the main trivia question. Okay, what year did U.S. amateurs lose the 11-meter band to Citizens Band Radio? Was it Alpha 1952, Bravo 1958, Charlie 1962, or Delta 1967? Let me take a break for time. I'll read it again. KE8VZA back with main trivia. What year did U.S. amateurs lose the 11-meter band to Citizens Band Radio? Was it Alpha 1952, Bravo 1958, Charlie 1962, or Delta 1967? I'll put this in the blue screen momentarily. KE8VZA, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Eric. You know, that question reminds me of this documentary I saw recently about coffee, so I have absolutely no idea what the answer is. But I wrote a guess down to see if I'm right or wrong later in the net. Thanks for doing the trivia. Next, we'll talk to KI5DAY Alan, get the alternate trivia. Alan, take it away.
KI5DAY in the net. How weird is that the regular trivia question is about CB radios? That's pretty strange. Yeah, I was just talking about CBs. I'm going to have to look up an outdoor CBN, see what we can come up with. But anyways, tonight's alternate trivia question. Oh boy, here we go. Women in Allied countries during World War II commonly wore red lipstick, regardless of which Allied country that they lived in. Why did they only wear red lipstick? Was it A, to defy women in Germany who never wore lipstick as it was outlawed during the war by the SS? B, because Adolf Hitler hated red lipstick? C, because red lipstick was worn by Allied women to show their appreciation to the USA for joining the war? Or was it D, because the European Allied Cornwaldo Lips factory made beautiful red lipstick to help even ugly women learn to? I'll put this in the blue screen and back to net, KI5DAY.
W8WKY.
All right, well, thank you, Alan. Yeah, I was thinking that there was going to be an answer. If there was, I would have guessed it. I was thinking one of the answers was going to be something like the color red was leftover surplus and not used in any war-fighting building of anything, so that's why it was just more prevalent. But that wasn't one of the answers, so I'm not going to pick that. I'll write my answer down, my guess, and see if I'm right later on. Thanks for doing the alternate trivia. Okay, let's go talk to people. We're going to start with KF8G. Brian, how you doing, sir? What do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
Well, I just wanted to tell Alan, I see he's using an FT60. Keep using it. Your audio is about 3 times louder than it normally is. I don't have to turn my radio up to Cornwaldo being 15 to hear you, so keep using that radio. It's great. Not much going on. Looking forward to a little warmer weather. We got a little bit of a chance of slightly severe Tuesday and Wednesday, and some days are looking like a high chance of rain, but maybe it'll clear out quickly. But the temperatures are starting to moderate a bit, so looking forward to that. But not much else going on, so I'll turn it back to the net. KF8G.
All right, thank you, Brian. And yeah, it is starting to warm up a little bit. Hopefully it stays that way. It's going to get a little chillier around Easter, I think, but that's something we'll have to deal with. But not too bad. All right, next we have KA8LYJ. How you doing, Bob? And what do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
K8QKO. This is KA8LYJ. Hi, Nick. Hi, group. Not much went on today. It was nicer than I expected it. Like Mark, I went out without a coat today. Well, I had my suit coat on, but other than that, no overcoat. and then just chilled the rest of the day. Fixed Ida's computer. It wasn't as shot as I thought it was going to be, which was a nice surprise. For trivia, main trivia, when I was a kid, my dad was complaining about that as if the wound was still fresh, so I'm going to guess Delta. Alternate trivia, I'm stuck. I was going the same place you were, Nick, and like you, I was left out in the cold. So I am just going to guess Bravo, because it at least seems plausible, and we'll see how that goes. KA8LYJ.
All right, thank you, Bob. I think we got your answer down for Delta and Bravo, if I heard you right. And thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. Next, we're going to talk to K5 CFY Ray. How you doing, Ray? What do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
E8QKO. I think I got that right. Good evening there, Nick at Nite. Thanks for doing the main show here. And wave a hand there, Mr. Eric on the keyboard. Always does a great job. Boy, I don't have a clue. I'm going to go with alternating current tonight, Alpha and Charlie. So back to you there, Nick, and we'll say 73 y'all, and we'll be listening. K5 CFY, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Ray. Got your answer down there for Alpha and Charlie. Thanks for checking in. This is KE8QKO. On the W8WK9 repeater 147 Mark 390, positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. We're going through our list of check-ins on the Beacon Net. The next station is in and out, that's WP4 AIZ. And then we're going to go down to K3MBC Mark. How you doing, Mark? What do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
This is K3MBC. Doing pretty well tonight, Nick. Thanks for running the net. My trivia answers are complete and total guesses because they just are. It's going to be Charlie and Alpha. Charlie and Alpha. K3MBC. Back to net.
All right, thanks, Mark. Charlie and Alpha it is, and I'll tell you what, a well-placed, educated guess is better than no guess at all, so that's the way I go. And, yeah, thanks for hopping in tonight. The next station we have, he may or may not be around. I know I think he was on the radio earlier and kind of got pulled into the net, but we'll see if he's listening. K5 RFG, Ryan, are you up there, and do you have comments for the Beacon Net? All right, nothing heard. He probably didn't stick around, and that's okay. The next station after Ryan is in and out. That's KF8EDE Patrick. But then that's going to take us down to our first non-in and out station, which is KI5TAQ Taco Tim from Bofang, Oklahoma. How you doing, Tim? What do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
Well, good evening there, Nick at Nite. This is KI5TAQ. Well, shall we say, first let's get the questions out of the way. And I'm going to go with Delta on the main question. And, well, let me say Alpha for the second question. So I do like the Cornwaldo lift. But anyways, I'll go Delta and Alpha and let it ride like that. But hopefully the winds have died down just enough. But still got a back door open and still letting the fresh air in the house. So I'll send it back to net control and let you get on down the list. This is KI5TAQ.
Thank you, Tim. Got your answer down there for Delta and Alpha. Thanks for checking in. The next station we have is In and Out. That's KE8ZRY. And then that's going to take us down to KE8QFT. Uncle Fred. How you doing, Fred? What do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
Well, first of all, it's trivia. Charlie and Bravo. CB. I'll be darned. There's a topic of conversation in the blue screen. Well, it just worked out like that. Anyhow, boy, this week I got sick. I had this thing called norovirus. Some call it the stomach flu, but that's not the technical term. A lot of vomiting and discharging of stuff from the other side. I mean, a lot. And I got dehydrated. They had to give me IV. I was in there for 2 days, 2 nights, and finally they let me out Friday. But boy, I mean, they're screwed up at that hospital. They had 2 different doctors, so you got 2 different people telling me this and that. Oh, we need this test. Oh, no, they don't need that one. Oh, we need this test. Oh, you can't go home till we get the EKG. Okay, EKG, fine. Oh, you need more labs. Someone's come up from the lab. Okay, can't go home till you get these labs. An hour and a half later, I call a desk. They say, oh, you don't need them labs. It was screwed up. But to top it off, they said, who's picking you up? I said, no one. They looked at me like I'm from outer space, the nurse. I said, no one. Well, how are you going to get home? I said, well, I drove here. My car's out in the parking lot. And she says, are you sure? Okay, that's it for now. KE8QFT. I'll have a joke later. Back to net control.
W8WKY.
All right, well, thank you, Fred. Got your answers down for CB, Charlie Bravo. Maybe it's a good thing that they didn't quite trust you, because that means maybe you're beating your peers out, because maybe most of them wouldn't be able to drive themselves to and from the hospital, and they were happy for you that you're able to do it. I don't know. Let's toss that out there as maybe take it as a positive. But glad you're feeling a little better and getting that stuff sorted out. And it's good to hear you. Next, we have KR4JVK, Jason from Mobile. How you doing, Jason? And what do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
This is KR4JVK. Hey there. I'm a New Hampshire, so I didn't realize there was an 11-meter band. So this is a blind guess. I'm going to go with Charlie. And for the alternate trivia question, I'm also going to go with Charlie, because why wouldn't you want to support the troops, right? So Charlie. KR4JVK, back to you.
All right, thank you, sir. Got your answer down there for Charlie and Charlie. Yeah, and I have no idea myself. My guesses are going to be totally guesses. Next, we have KC0LRM, Kelly. How you doing, Kelly? And what do you have for the Beacon Net tonight?
KE8QKO. Hey, thanks for getting me in there. Give me my trivia answers now before I forget. That's what happens to get older, I guess. I'm going to go Delta because I think Colonel Cornwall Domingue was part of the underground back in the day, so he probably knows what was going on. Really, for good, for sure. Though, not a lot going on. Just kind of remind people that people that are into this kind of stuff. If all goes well, Artemis 2 will be launching Wednesday, I think, at 5:24 p.m. Central Time. So for a 10-day trip around the moon. So just want to throw that out there, and for all you geeks like me that like to keep up with stuff like that. So hope everybody's having a good day out there and enjoying this nice weather. And yeah, I think spring maybe has finally sprung. I hope down here anyway. unless you're about up there, probably a little bit later than we are. So that's all I got. Everybody have a good afternoon, good evening, and back to net control.
All right, thank you, sir. Got your answers down there for double D's. Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, I kind of forgot that was. I knew it was coming up. I just kind of forgot when it was launching. So thanks for the reminder. I'll have to set an alarm or something so I can make sure I watch it. Next we have KI5 WDM Donald. How you doing, Donald? And what do you have for the beacon net tonight?
Well, good evening, Nick. This is T-Bo India 5 Whiskey Delta Mike here. My trivia answers are going to be Alpha for the first one, because that was the year I was born, and Charlie for the second one. Thought I saw a deal about that kind of stuff one time. Just rings a bell for some reason. Anyway, hope everybody's having a great evening out there, and good trivia questions tonight. It's KI5WDM. The answers are Alpha and Charlie. I'll be standing by.
All right, thank you, Donald. We got your answers down there for Alpha and Charlie. It's good to hear you, and thanks for checking in. Okay, this is KE8QKO on the WAWKY repeater, 147 Mark 390, positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. We're going through our check-ins for the beacon net. Next station we have is In and Out, that's WA8KOC, and then another In and Out station after Fred there, which is AF5JB, and that's going to take us down to KC8FQB Mark. How you doing, Mark? And what do you have for the beacon net tonight?
All right, KC8, Fox Queen Victor. I'm going to say BB. I'm going to say B and B, and everything else went good today, I guess. So other than that, I'm going to run over this other net. They got another net. I got to run over there and check in and see what's happening down there in Kentucky. It's down Painesville, Kentucky. So I'm going to run over there, but I'm going to say BB, KC8FQB. KC8FQB. Oh, man. Yep, KC8FQB, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Mark. I thought you said Bravo and Bravo, and my net logger has Charlie and Bravo. Could you correct me? The right answers?
Yeah, it should be Bravo, 1958. And B is on the alternative, is definitely the B one. And it should be 1958, and I think that's B. KCFQV.
Copy that, sir. Thank you very much. Got your answer down there for Bravo and Bravo. Next we have WN8SCI, Walter. How you doing, Walter? And what do you have for the beacon net tonight?
WN8SCI, how's it going? I don't have too much for the beacon net, I suppose, but I am thankful that I did not start pumping my gas yet because I otherwise would have missed my call, so glad I was able to be here for that. Other than that, just going to be getting some gas. I see all the trash cans here are full, so, yeah. And then maybe practice a little bit more CW. So, other than that, I'll go ahead and wish everybody a great afternoon or night, I suppose, and hand it back to net control. WN8SCI.
All right, thank you, Walter. Hey, did you happen to catch our trivia answers?
No, but that's all right. I did hear them, but yeah, I was thinking about CW stuff. So I don't have any answers. But yeah, back to you. WNet SDI.
All right, copy that, sir. We'll put it down as a pass. And about those full trash cans, my guess is they're too busy raising the price on the gas over and over again to actually have time to empty the trash. That's probably why it's going like that. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Walter. It's good to hear you. After Walter, we have 4 in and out stations. That's KE8HNK, KF8DTA, N8YMY, and KA8MNT, which is going to take us down to W2JLS. John, how you doing, John? And what do you have for the BeaconNet tonight?
KE8UKO, Mr. Nick. I'm fine. I'm on the Victor Lima Charlie, the very large couch, not in the radio room tonight. I checked in using a handheld here from the living room, but it sounds like I was barely making it, so I've opted in on the EchoLink. Sorry I didn't wander down into the radio room. Yeah, but everything's good out here. Wish you all a very good evening on your ears, and hope you enjoy the week. Hopefully the weather's picking up. Sounds like it might be warming for the next 2 or 3 days here in the greater Northeast Ohio area. Let's see, on the trivia questions, I don't know the answer to either of these completely. I've kind of reviewed them in the blue screen. I like, I'm going to guess choice. I was on the fence between 62 and 68 for the 11-meter band. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s, I'll tell you, CB radio was hot, very popular. Doesn't seem to be so much anymore, but maybe I'm just in the wrong subculture over here in Hamland. But yeah, I'll guess 1962 for that. I'm going to go with that. And then on the lipstick thing, I mean, I would have thought it was just in vogue at the time that ladies like to look good. And I do remember in French class that hearing from my French teacher in high school that the women would wear that to let men know they were good to go, so to speak. That was coming from a lady, Miss Bonnie Campbell. So I honestly don't know the answer, but I kind of like maybe that Hitler didn't like it and he did it just to be giving him the salute. Anyway, passing it back. Thanks for having me, Nick. Good to hear everybody. W2JLS.
All right. Thank you, John. Let's see. What was that? The first answer would have been, if I can read it here, find it. 1962, you said. I'm not sure what number that is. Eric. Oh, there it is. 1962 would be Charlie, and then the alternate would be Bravo, and Eric got both of them before I did. So, all right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you checking in. After John, we have 2 in-and-out stations. That's AI5Q and KB8LNK, which is going to take us down to KJ5MCV. Ryan, how you doing, Ryan? What do you have for the BeaconNet tonight?
Well, I don't have a whole lot for the BeaconNet. This is Ryan, KJ5MCV. Hello to you, Nick, and I appreciate you very much for picking me up. I'm really tickled to be a part of all of what ham radio has to offer in these nets. Keeps me busy in the evenings so that my dog and I don't get too bored while we're sitting people watching in the garage. She gets a little aggravated when people walk by, and I'm more apt to wave at them and tell them hello. But anyways, we'll figure it out. I'm going to go, before I forget, I'll get to the trivia questions. Great questions, by the way. I'm going to go with Delta, just because I feel like it was the latest answer possible. And then Charlie, just because maybe it aggravated Mr. Hitler. Yeah, it sounds great to me. So I'm going to go with that. As far as what else I have, feeling pretty accomplished. We got a little bit of fence work done today on the faces. It looks really sharp. Made a little extra coin. We went and visited the off-grid property on the mountain here in Oklahoma. That was a lot of fun, me and my boy. Just stopped by the Illinois River and slung some fishing poles in the water. I think I more or less threw $25 worth of lures in the trash on accident, getting snagged on trees and whatnot. But it was really nice. I hadn't been out there in many years, or since 23, I guess, so yeah, potentially up to 3 years. Feels good to get out there and inspired to maybe go out there and do a little bit more work. So all is well in our neighborhood. Thank you again for picking us up, and great questions again. I will give back to Net Control. Nick, have a great night. Everybody have a great week that's coming up. This is KJ5MCV. Back to Net Control.
All right, thank you, Ryan. We got your answers down there for Delta and Bravo. Sounds like you had a pretty good weekend. Sorry about losing the lures, but I guess that's kind of what happens when there's, trees in the water, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks for hopping in. Good to hear you, and come on back. Okay, this is KE8QKO on the W8WKY repeater 147 Mark 390 positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. So we've reached the bottom of our list. We're ready for more check-ins. I think before we start taking more check-ins, let's go ahead and reread the trivia just in case there's anybody out there that wants to or needs to hear them again. It's been about a half hour. We're going to go up to KE8VZA. Eric, would you reread the primary question, please?
KE8QKO in the net, KE8VZA here with a reread of main trivia. What year did U.S. amateurs lose the 11-meter band to Citizens Band Radio? The answers, or the probable answers are Alpha, 1952, Bravo, 1958, Charlie, 1962, or Delta, 1967. I'll repost this in the blue screen, KE8VZA, back to Net Control.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's go down and talk to KI5DAY to get the alternate trivia right again. Alan, take it away.
All righty then. Tonight's alternate trivia is: women in Allied countries during World War II commonly wore red lipstick regardless of which Allied country they lived in. Why did they only wear red lipstick? Was it A, to defy women in Germany who never wore lipstick because it was outlawed during the war by the SS? B, because Adolf Hitler hated red lipstick? C, red lipstick was worn by Allied women to show their appreciation to the USA for joining the war? Or D, because the European Allied Cornwaldo Lips factory made beautiful red lipstick to help even ugly women look pretty too? Aw, KI5DAY, back to Net.
All right, well, thank you, Alan. Another fine alternate trivia. Like I said, I'm at the bottom of my list, so we're going to do a round of check-ins. If anyone would like to check into the Beacon Net, please say your call sign phonetically, followed by alphabetically, along with your name and location.
Please copy Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra AA8CS. This is Gary in Fairlawn.
Net Control, please check in Kilo India 5 Romeo Foxtrot India KI5 RFI Mac in Springdale, Arkansas.
KE2STG, Kilo Echo 2, Foxtrot Tango Golf, Mike in New York's Hudson Valley.
All right, I've got a pretty good list there. I've got AA8CS, I've got KI5 RFI, and I've got KE2FTG. Is there anyone else who would like to check into the Beacon Net? Please call now. right, nothing heard there. Let's go up and talk to Gary. AAACS. How you doing, Gary? How you feeling? I understand you've been under the weather. Good to hear you on the radio. Let's see what how whatever number of retirement this is for you is treating you.
Good evening, Nick, and everybody on the net this evening. I'm feeling a whole lot better. This has been a heck of a 4-week stretch for me. Really been pretty brutal, actually. But I am feeling a little bit better. I plan on being back on the barometer net this Thursday and Friday. And it's certainly a pleasure to be here with you tonight, my friend. It just kicked my butt. It just absolutely kicked my butt. And chest x-rays and multiple, I had two things going on. My back kind of went out on me there for a while. I went to, finally got around to going to PT after actually truly not being able to walk for a day or two. And I think I picked up this upper respiratory infection at PT because that was the only time I'd been around a whole bunch of people. And, laying on the benches and stuff. I mean, they keep things as clean as they can, but still, there's just so many people at physical therapy. And anyway, it just knocked me out. Fortunately, my back feels a whole lot better, but I'm still trying to shake this respiratory thing. But again, really good to be here tonight. I've been trying to get on some of the nets and reclaim my participation. As far as the trivia is concerned, thanks for the reread. I just kind of meandered over here to the radio. But I'm going to go with Baker. I think it was 1958, if I'm not mistaken. Late 50s. I think that might be what it is. Not sure, but that's going to be my guess this evening. And of course, who could deny Cornwall bean women? I mean, seriously, got to be the Cornwall bean. So I'm going to go with Alpha and Delta tonight. Nick, good to hear you. Doing a great job as usual. And we'll talk to you again real soon. This is Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra, back to net.
All right. Well, thank you, Gary. I'm glad to hear you're on the mend and starting to feel better and able to get on the radio and enjoy some time. We got your answer down there for Bravo and Delta, and I will talk to you later on this week, I'm sure. So thanks for checking in. Next, we have KI5 RFI Mac. How you doing, Mac? And what do you have for the Beaconette tonight? Kilo India 5, Romeo Foxtrot India. Mac, are you out there? Do you have comments for the Beaconette?
KI5 RFI. Sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulty there. I'm going to go with Baker or Bravo and Charlie. Bravo and Charlie for the trivia questions tonight. Back to net control.
Not a problem, sir. Glad you're able to get back to me there, and we have you down for Bravo and Charlie for the trivia. Next, we're going to talk to Kilo Echo 2, Foxtrot Tango Golf, KE2 FTG. Mike, how you doing, Mike? And what do you have for the Beaconette tonight?
Good evening, all on the Beaconette tonight. It's finally warming up a little bit in New York here. We enjoyed the day. I took my wife out for dinner for her birthday. That was quite nice, so we had a good time. I'm going to take a guess on the trivia tonight. I don't know anything about CB, so the last two guys said AB, so I'm going to say C, just as a guess. And I like the lipstick question, the one that annoyed Hitler. So that might have been C. If you could just check that for me, I'll go with that one. Back to DeaconNet.
All right, thank you there, Mike. That's the answers are going to be Charlie and Bravo. So we'll get them here on the log, and we'll see how things turn out later on the net. Thanks for checking in with us. I appreciate it. This is KE8QKO on the WAWQY repeater, 147 Mark 390, positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. And we are ready for more check-ins. If you would like to check in or recheck the DeaconNet, please say your call sign phonetically, followed by alphabetically, along with your name and location. All right, nothing heard there. Let's go talk to our net control team. It's going to be a short one. Most of the net control team, I think, are tired. I know I'm tired. So it's only going to be 3 of us here. But that's how it goes. And then we'll do another round of check-ins and then, get some trivia answers read when people are done talking and all the things that we do. But first, we're going to talk to KE8VZA. Eric, how you doing, sir? And what do you have for the DeaconNet tonight?
KE8QKO in the net, KE8VZA here. Not anything terribly exciting this weekend. Did get a start on my taxes and worked on a few other things and took in a movie here at home, streaming wise, of course. And so it was a nice, relaxing weekend. Got a nap in this afternoon. That was great. Anyway, for trivia, I'm going to abstain for the main, of course, and I'm going to go with Bravo for the alternate. And that's all I've got. We'll throw it back to you, Nick, KE8VZA.
All right, thank you, Eric. Got your answer. Your answer down is Bravo for the alternate. Being a nap would be nice. I didn't have time for any of that this weekend. No nappy nap time for me. Oh, well. I thought I was going to say something else there. Maybe not. All right. Thanks for doing all you do, Eric. I appreciate it. Next, we're going to talk to KI5DAY Alan and see what he's got for us. Alan, take it away.
Wow, KI5DAY. I was putting the top of my ham shack desk off, and I set on a pair of safety glasses. That was exciting. But anyways, what do I have? I was, like I said, experimenting around with radios yesterday. A guy from my workplace handed me a President HR2510, which is a 10-meter/modified 11. If people modified them, most of them were modified that were made during that time frame, is my understanding. They come from the late 80s, early 90s. So I hooked it up, and it sounded and looked amazing and received really well. When you tee up the mic, it does show TX, so the mic is working, but there's a common problem with the radios when it shows TX as it's transmitting, but it doesn't actually put out any audible sound, as you can see on the meter. It's because things go out in those radios over time, and it's set for too long. Even though it was pretty clean on the inside when I looked at it, it definitely had something wrong with somewhere, some of the electronic components. So let me let this drop. So anyway, I hooked it up to my G5 RV Junior, which I had up before the wind started last night, before I lowered my masts for the high winds today. Not really super high, but somewhat high. But I was hearing stations plumb out to California. So yeah, there's definitely people on CB, and I was hearing a lot of traffic on the G5 RV Junior. So there's people out there, but they were here and there and abroad. But I'm definitely going to get an outdoor CB antenna up in the air, vertical of some sort. They have a 10-meter/11-meter antenna that you can get. I might get that one, we'll see. But I want to play around with it, maybe put it in the car occasionally. So I bought this radio, and it's really nice, and I just haven't really used it. So the one I have is a Uniden 68PC LTW, I think, or something like that. With that, I'm going to say the regular trivia answer is D. I think it was 1967. That's my guess. KI5DAY, back to net.
All right. Well, thank you, Alan. Good luck with that radio. And, yeah, I never really played around with CB. Maybe that'd be fun to do sometime, but never really done it. And, yeah, thanks for doing the Allstar Trivia. I appreciate it. My answers are going to be Bravo and Bravo tonight. I had a fun weekend. My son's theater group had their play this weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So I went to a Friday night thing, and today I volunteered at the school and did concessions and had some time with friends yesterday while he was doing his play. So it's been a busy weekend, busy on the go. Wouldn't mind a nap or two. I might take a nap here after the net. Then I'll just kind of roll right into going to bed. Anyway, that's my plan. So, yeah, thanks everybody for checking in. All right. This is KE8QKO on the WWQI repeater 147 Mark 390. Positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. We're at the bottom of our list. Anyone who would like to check into the beacon net, please say your call sign phonetically, followed by alphabetically, along with your name and location. All right. Looks like it's a quiet night tonight. It's okay. Well, let's get some trivia answers then. Let's go with the KE8 VZA. Eric, and get the answer to the primary question.
KE8QKO in the net, KE8VZA here, about ready to reveal the answer to the main trivia. So what year did U.S. amateurs lose the 11-meter band to Citizens Band radio? Was it A, 1952, B, 1958, C, 1962, or D, 1967? The correct answer is Bravo, 1958. So it was right at the latter couple years of the 1950s. So let me take a break for time and I'll read you the details.
W8WKY.
KE8VZA returning on September 11th, 1958. The old 11-meter amateur band was reallocated by the FCC to the Citizens Band radio service, or CB radio as we know it, and they classified it as a Class Delta radio service using FCC verbiage. And when the service was expanded to 40 channels in 1977, 27 Mark 235 megahertz was added as channel 24, and 27 Mark 245 megahertz was added as channel 25, and then they added the rest. By sheer coincidence, or maybe not, channel 27 Mark 265 was added as channel 26, all the way up to channel 27 Mark 405 megahertz being channel 40. Thus, if you caught on to that, what's happening here is from channels 26 to 40, the first two digits after the decimal in the frequency are the same as the channel number. So what a coinky-dink. But anyway, September 11th, 1958, the amateur radio service had its 11-meter band pried out of its fingertips and handed over to CB radio, which probably cultivated a lot of new hands. I'm one of them. I got started in CB and kind of many years later, too many years later maybe, got into amateur radio. But there you have it. Bravo, 1958. KE8VZA, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Eric. So I got one right. That's always good for me. I'm happy to hear it. It's an interesting little story there. And that pesky 9/11 date never seems to. It always seems to kind of be a problem. We should do something about it. Maybe just get rid of it, like we got rid of the 13th floor on buildings. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Let's go down to KI5 DAY Alan to get the answer for the alternate trivia. Alan, take it away.
Give me just a second. All right,
Sorry about that. I had lost control of the PTT. Didn't have my thumb on there very good. I was barely hanging on. The alternate trivia question tonight, by the way, I don't know if I even guessed at the other one. I think I did, but yeah, I did. I got it wrong. So that's a cool question, Eric. I had no idea that they even had the 11-meter band in the amateur side. That's pretty weird. My alternate trivia was, women in Allied countries during World War II commonly wore red lipstick regardless of which Allied country that they lived in. Why did they only wear red lipstick? Well, if you looked it up on Google like Mark did, you'd know that the answer is B. Adolf Hitler hated red lipstick. He absolutely detested it. So all the Allied women and the American women got word of this. I guess it spread. So in defiance, they all wore red lipstick. So there's your answer. The Cornwaldo Lips Factory made a lot of it, so they sold a bunch of it. KI5DAY, back to net.
All right. Well, thank you, Alan. Another fine guess. I made it. I got 2 for 2. I didn't even know the answers, but I gave in. So that's a good deal. I like that. And thanks for the alternate trivia. I appreciate it. This is KE8QKO on the WAWKY repeater. 147 Mark 3.0, positive offset with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. And we have run through our list of check-ins. We've talked to everybody. We got our trivia answers read and all the fun things you normally do in that. And we have time for one more round, and one more round only of check-ins or rechecks. So if you would like to check in or recheck to the BeaconNet, please say your call sign phonetically, followed by alphabetically, along with your name and location.
KE8QFT, the recheck.
All right, I got a recheck from Fred. Go ahead and take it, sir.
Okay, so this woman, she tells her husband, she's gone to work. She said there might be a snowstorm. I get off work, and I hope I don't get lost, to get disoriented in the snowstorm. And her husband said, hey, don't worry about it. Just, if you can get behind a plow truck, follow that plow truck, right? And you'll get home safely. She said, well, okay, that makes me feel better. But after work, sure enough, it's snowing to beat the band. But she gets in her car, and immediately there's a snow plow in front of her, so she's following this truck. She followed it for about a half an hour. Finally, the driver of the truck stops, and he walked back, and he said, ma'am, so what are you doing? And she said, well, I kind of got lost, and my husband told me if I get disoriented to just find a plow truck and follow it. He said, yeah, but ma'am, I'm done with this parking lot now. KE8QFT, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Fred. Yeah, that's a good one. I've heard that before. That's a good joke. I like that. So, yeah, thanks for tossing it in there at the end. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. On behalf of the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, myself, KE8BZA, KI5DAY, KD8SLG, W8HRF, KE8YUK, KD8EPC, and Larry the Rubber Chicken, I would like to thank each and every one of you for checking in with us this evening. Come and join us on the next edition of the BeaconNet, Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the WAWKY repeater, Allstar Node 48496 at EchoLink WAWKY-R. You're welcome to join us on the Barometer Net, also on the WAWKY repeater, every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, except for Sundays. Don't forget to check out our friends on the Border Breaker Net every day at noon Central Time on Allstar Node 49562 and EchoLink N5XQK-R. You've been listening to the BeaconNet. This is KE8QKO. Return the repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use this time, 73 all.
KE8QKO, WB3K. Take a latecomer, Nick.
CV3K. Sure will, Phil. Go ahead.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, it was a little late for me. I just got done taking care of myself before bedtime, and didn't even think to turn the rig on. So anyway, I just calling out to say hello, and hopefully everyone had a real great night, and the net had gone well. And I understand that there's exam sessions coming up that Stefan is getting together, and that sounds great. And hope we get a lot of students to come in and take their tests and enjoy the hobby as most of us have enjoyed over the years. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say good night and Godspeed. And it was nice to hear Fred in there. Nice talking to him when he was in the hospital. Sorry that I was so chatty, Fred. But anyway, thank you. It was nice talking with you. I'll try to trim my appetite on getting real talky. With that, 73s and God bless and much love to all. Thanks very much, Nick. And you have a great, wonderful night with you and your family. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Good night. Sleep well in 73. And I will be clear.
Yeah, this is KA8LYJ. That CB one really threw me tonight. I swear when I was a kid in the 70s, my dad was still complaining about how the ham bands lost 11 meters and we'd grumble, grumble, grumble. Made me think it was a lot more recent than 1958. This is KA8LYJ.
W8WKY.
station attempting, this is KA8LYJ. You are tripping the repeater, but there is no audio. KA8LYJ again, still no audio. You might want to try and find out what's going on or move to another location.
J5MCV, here I am listening. Got a question for somebody that might know something about something. Kilo Juliet 5, Mike Charlie Victor.
This is KA8LYJ. I can give an answer. It's probably wrong, but it's an answer.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. KA8LYJ. Appreciate you picking me up. This is a wild one, so maybe you've had this before. Got a Yaesu FG891 and I'm running a mobile rig. I'm a technician, so I usually just play around on 10 meters on the machine there. It's a lot of fun to mess with. Looking forward to getting away from all the contesters where I can actually kind of find somebody to chat with on HF. But I did come up with a 6-meter Omni that is a mobile rig that I can just spin my 102-inch whip off and put this other whip on there for 6 meters. It's got excellent SWR. As far as I'm concerned, it's like 1.3 to 1. But I fired up 6 meters today and I started calling on it with not a lot of hope that I'd find somebody, but you know, the hope was there a little bit. It was in the air, put it that way. But 6 meters freaked my truck completely out. Alternator light comes on, the fan motor starts reducing power, Bluetooth devices in the truck start freaking out. What does a guy do when something like that's happening?
Oh wow. Yeah, I would check your connection at the antenna base itself. You got an RF leak. It's a bad analogy, but think about it like a faucet with a bad gasket. And where does the water go? It's something like that. Not not a perfect analogy, but it works for these purposes. But yeah, you might want to check the connection, make sure the antenna is screwed down good and tight. You got a good seal everywhere. Check your connectors on the radio, because it's emissions from your antenna or from your transmission that's going where it's not supposed to go that's causing your problems.
I can definitely appreciate that answer, and I'm a relatively new ham. I think July last year I got my license, so just recently got the FT891 in the truck. 10 meters works great, and I'm using the same connection point. So basically I spent a 102-inch whip off and put about a 40-inch whip on there for 6 meters. I spun it on there, double wrenches, good and tight. I didn't change anything except for the antenna. And man, like I said, I could hear myself echoing in there, and I was wondering if I wouldn't come in through the speakers as I'm transmitting, and it just really freaked me out. I didn't know what was going on there. And my dad, he's obviously been a ham for a long time, and he said, kind of like that joke, the doctor, you're in the doctor's office, and you say, "Doc, it hurts when I do this," and the doc says, "Well, don't do that." So I don't want to take the answer to not just use 6 meters on a rig that's capable of it. Surely there's somebody out there that'll chat with me on 6 meters. But yeah, it really freaked the truck out. Like I said, the alternator light comes on, the fan slows down. I was listening to a podcast kind of in the background there. I noticed it was really chopping back and forth, and I thought, am I frying myself right now? There's something crazy going on. But literally all I've done is spun on a new whip and double wrenched. It was good and tight. The coax was obviously in good shape. New. I mean, I just put it in there, but it's the first time I'd ever transmitted on 6 meters, and it freaked completely out. I thought, I'm gonna burn something up if I'm not careful here.
W8WK
AI5DAY.
Hey, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, wait, come on with it.
I just wanted to try to jump in there. This is KI5DAY, Alan, just north of Tulsa. I'm up here in Sperry, but I've heard of that happening before, and I had an issue similar to that with my Allstar Node, believe it or not. I was having some issues with some noise and causing all kinds of wacky stuff to happen. And my buddy who built the node came up with the idea to put ferret cores or ferret rings, whichever one you want to call them, onto the actual plug-in wire. Now, in vehicles, I've heard that you can put those ferret cores or ferret rings on the actual coax close to where your receiver is, and maybe put 2 or 3 of them on there on the coax up close to your receiver, and that might eliminate the electrical interference. It's not a guarantee, but it definitely worked on my Allstar Node. Again, now we can put it on the power cord for my Allstar Node, and that fixed the issue right away. The other, as far as doing it in a car, I've never done that. I've never been on an HF rig in a vehicle, but from what I've heard, that's something that might fix it. So I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Well, I can't say anything other than I appreciate the input. I think I can grab a couple of those little ferrite chokes off of Amazon and put on the power side. It doesn't have anything on it, and on 10 meters, which is what I'm on most of the time, just listening to crazy people do contests, but I do need to turn the noise blanker on to get some of the buzz from the engine off of there. So I know there is some interference coming from the engine to the radio, but yeah, now I'm getting interference from the radio to the vehicle. Like I said, I hate to just accept that 6 meters is off limits for me in the truck. It would just be really neat if I could find somebody to say, hey, try this, and I'll try that.
QSL, yeah, and I was just looking it up too on the internet, and sure enough, it says after you've already said half the battle was checking your antenna connections and all that. That's a typical thing. You may have a loose cable, but if you've already done all that, try out the ferrite rings and see if it works, because it does say if you attach those cores to the antenna cables near your receiver end, is what it says, to suppress high frequency interference. So there it is. I just found that. I don't even know what website this is. I just found it on. So try that and see if it works. Heck, it might even clear up the 10-meter interference from your vehicle there. So hopefully that works. If it don't, sorry, that's the only thing I got. KI5DAY. I'll clear out of here.
KI5DAY. Hey, just a quick question, just to be clear. You'd recommended first to put a ferrite on the... I'll put them everywhere. I don't care. But first you'd mentioned on the power cord close to the receiver, I suppose is what you said, or is that close to the battery? And then also if it's in line with the coax, you also put that as close as you can to the receiver. Is that right?
What I was talking about is my Allstar Node. It doesn't have a coax going into it, but what it does have is the power cord that plugs into the wall to give it power. That was getting a lot of interference. So when my buddy there hooked up a few, he put like 2 or 3 of them on there. I have to go look and see how many's on there. He routed the wires around those little rings and attached them to the actual power cable. Now you could try both or one or the other first. Try it first on the actual the wires on the power, or you could try it to the actual. It says on the when I looked it up to attach it to the antenna cables nearest to the receiver, and that would help suppress high frequency interference. So it does say on the cables for the antenna. I guess you could always try it on the power wires too. I'm not sure. Another option it does talk about, I've never seen one of these, is a ground loop isolator. Now I'm not sure how that works or what that even is, but that's something else you might look up, is a ground loop isolator. So yeah, give it a shot. See what happens. KI5DAY.
KI5DAY, KG5MCV. I appreciate the input. I'll look on Amazon and see if I can find something. I think I'm running 12 gauge wire, so I can find a ferrite choke that'll work with 12 gauge stranded, and then running like something like I can't remember what coax I'm running in there. But I know I could look it up and see what size choke I can get. I guess you're making a loop around the outside of that and putting it in line with there. Yeah, relatively new. Kind of a crazy thing that just happened today for the first time. Well, I'm driving down to Lowe's and buying some miscellaneous this and that from the Getting place, and I thought I've got myself into a pickle here. So. Yeah, I really appreciate the input. I'll let you get back after. I know it's getting late, so KI5DAY, KG5MCV. I will talk to you again later. I appreciate it, brother. Take care.
You're welcome. I hope it helps, and I hope I didn't step on that other station that was talking to you there. But anyways, good luck with it, and definitely don't want to whack-a-mole your electronic system in your vehicle. So if you can find something to see if that'll work, and if it does work, bravo. But if not, try something else. That's what the interwebs are for. Hi. KI5DAY. I'm going to be clear of the frequency.
Yep, very good. Take care, brother. Appreciate you. KI5DAY, KG5MCV. Take care.
KG5MGC, this is KA8LYJ. Good luck to you. Hope that works. Ferrite beads are a good cheap fix, and they do cover a lot of sins. And K5DAY, this is KA8LYJ. Don't worry about stepping on me, Alan. It's all good. 73 guys. KA8LYJ.
KA8LYJ, KG5MCV. Thank you for your input. I'm going to try throwing the whole kitchen sink at this thing.
once again, I'm not going to just accept that I can't have that band in my truck, so we're going to start peeling the onion, if you know what I mean. You guys have a great night. Thanks for both of your input. Very much appreciated. You guys take care. 73's KJ5 MCB.